Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Okay, so we are currently in the midst of our 5-year revisit to Bye Sister, the historical event online. And I was going to start watching the No More Lies video, and then I realized that there was actually a response that was deleted by James Charles in the midst of that. And it was this video, which was awful. This video was terrible, like so bad. James Charles was on an Australian press tour at the time of the Bye Sister video, and when the video dropped, James was actually supposed to be doing a meet and greet. If you know your lore, you know this. This is actually when I got into the beauty community space because I thought it was so fascinating. He was supposed to be doing a meet and greet in Australia a couple hours or the next day, I guess, after the Bye Sister video dropped, because when it dropped, in America, like that was the morning of Australia. So he was going to be doing this big meet and greet, and he ended up still doing it, but he was severely late for it. And this video he made in the midst of it, whenever I think he was in like a hotel room, and it was very clearly a rushed video. It was very clearly a horrible decision on his behalf. As much as I have my opinions on James Charles, and you know I do, the No More Lies video, specifically for the time, was one of the best responses we've seen to someone being called out. Like, he had everything prepared. So this one was definitely not that. I have not watched this in a very long time, and I'm very intrigued to see how bad it was. This was definitely just a clearly panicked, needed a response, but it very clearly shouldn't have been done. I'm really intrigued, so I'm going to dive right in.
James here.
I remember that a majority of this video is heavy breathing and mouth sounds. So buckle up for that. God, I love the hoodie as well and the white background. It literally is just typical YouTube apology.
I'm currently traveling abroad and just woke up, but I wanted to sit down and make a video addressing everything that's going on right now, because I owe everybody an explanation. But most importantly, I owe two important people an apology. To Tati and James.
What's interesting as well is he apologizes to them in this video, but then in the Bye Sister video, it's a completely different opinion that he has, if I can remember correctly, but the attitude is completely different. It very clearly was heavily edited by his team, and very clearly a lot of people were involved in the No More Lies video, whereas this one was definitely just him. But keep in mind, at this time, James Charles was losing the most amount of subscribers that like anyone has ever lost at once. There were live counts, that were literally watching his subscriber count, plummet to the ground. It was like a first we've seen on the platform. YouTube ended up taking away that feature of being able to watch, subscribers live count because of this. So he needed something quick, but this was not it.
Westbrook, I'm sorry for everything that is going on and everything that I've put you through over the past few weeks. I met Tati and James almost 3 years ago now, when I was first coming into the industry and when I had no friends and nobody to talk to or look up to. And Tati very quickly took on.
Even if this was the only video he made, it's not good. Like, I'm aware that he was stressed and he needed something up, but the tone in which he's making this video, the tone in which he's currently doing an apology is piss. Like, it really is so bad. So when he posted this, he then lost more subscribers, obviously, and then I think he just ultimately deleted this video, took a bit off, and then came back with the No More Lies video. And then Tati started losing all the subscribers, Jeffrey started losing, Shane started losing, and it got really messy, and public perception then turned on his side very quickly. People dropped him very quickly, but then came back very quickly. But even the tone he's saying in this video, I'm so sorry, they really looked out for me. Like, there's no emotion behind it, because obviously he doesn't agree with what he's saying, but he just knew that he was trying to stop losing subscribers, but it didn't work.
A parental role with me, because she knew my parents were across the country. And over the past few years,
there's the mouth noises.
Her family, her and her husband have given me so much love and advice and opportunities and a place to stay and a shoulder to...
You know what I also realized that was probably a big thing for James? In Tati's videos, she talks about like allowing James to get deals that made him like millions on the dot, I think Tati lifted a veil to the audience of how much these beauty gurus were making. And I feel that that was probably a really bad thing for James, because while he was flaunting his lifestyle, I feel that the audience didn't appreciate knowing that he was as rich as what he was. So I think that there was also a big chunk of an audience that were bitter at how much money he was making and wanting to take him down from that as well. But I think that that was a very calculated move on Tati's, behalf to bring up that he makes so much money and was, basically saying she was responsible for it. Because now people would watch this video and be like, oh, well, don't worry, you've made like 10 million, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Cry out at 3 a.m. and support when nobody else would or wanted to.
So much mouth movement here.
I'm so disappointed in myself that I ruined a relationship that did mean so much to me.
He literally wins the I don't give a fuck award here. He literally does not care. Like, this video is terrible. Like, he just shouldn't have made it. Like, this video is awful.
Even if I didn't do the best job of showing it all the time. And throughout all of this, what sucks the most is that I know there's nothing I can say or do to ever earn that friendship or trust back. But I don't blame them for it.
So much.
A lot of most of my career over the past few years.
He goes, most of my career.
And about me making mistakes and trying to learn and grow from them.
That's a crazy statement. Most of my career has been me making mistakes. Who's giving these people a platform?
And I haven't always done the best job of that. I can admit that. But I have always tried. Because I know there's a lot of people watching me, and that a lot of people look up to me as a role model. And I hate knowing that I disappointed not only them, but most importantly, two people that have been role models.
Could you imagine being in the line for James Charles's meet and greet in Australia that day? I wonder if there's any footage of it. Could you imagine being in the line of the meet and greet? I would have thought that he wouldn't have done it, but obviously probably like strict contracts. Like, that must have been so awkward because the entire internet was turning against him, and then you're waiting in line for a fucking meet and greet to be like, I love you so much. James Charles, Australia, because he went on like Australian TV and stuff and was like asked about it. Oh God, I'm seeing all of his singing videos. God, do you remember whenever he did his tour just like singing? God, these videos are awful. Like, this is what we're dealing with. Like, these videos where he was like prancing back. Oh God. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. I wonder if I can find any footage of the meet and greet. Australia meet and greet. So yeah, he was like booked on TV shows. And also I do think it was very tactical that Bye Sister came out whenever it would have been nighttime in Australia, and he would have woken up to it. But I also think as well, the fact that like he wouldn't have had his equipment to make a proper response. I think everything was super planned, which is why I do believe that Shane and Jeffrey were involved in this, because they would have known that as well as Tati. But I think the three adults in this were definitely trying to organize this at the best time possible so that at least they would have the one up for a couple days before he could respond. Okay, James Charles meet and greet in Australia. So this was the meet and greet, I think. Hey girl, do you still love him? So this had just happened after Tati's video. God, he must have been terrified. He must have actually been terrified. I'm falling asleep in my fuzzy hoodie. Oh my God. He must have been terrified to do that meet and greet. Because I remember as well that like they were like, oh my God, James, they were like, we knew that he was staying on a high floor hotel room. Like it was like really weird how much they were actually analyzing his life at this stage. Like the adults should have known better in this. And by the way, everything they accused him of, he ultimately ended up doing. But at least at that time period, like it was like three adults like teaming up on like a 19-year-old because they were bitter and jealous. And that's kind of scary actually. And you know how I feel about him.
doing this. I wish that I could say this is the last time that I would make a mistake, but it won't be. I know that'll disappoint people more and more as I continue to learn and grow every single day. I have a long way to go. Very long way to go.
The most emotion he's shown so far is laughing at him being like, I have a long way to go. My hopes are high. Oh, he's doing like heavy breathing.
That's okay. I'm going to keep trying my best and keep learning and growing, and be the best version of me that I possibly can be.
What is that?
And I'm sorry for that.
God, the apologies are just awfulness. And he goes, and I'm sorry for that. And then like fucking just slapping his lips together.
In regards to the Coachella situation with the brand deal and the security guard, I've already told my truth about this twice. And instead of talking about it for a third time and explaining it and going into detail and pulling up receipts.
Which is ironic because he ended up doing that in the No More Lies video, which ultimately was the thing that saved his career at that time period. But it's funny, he'd be like, I'm not doing that again. Oh, he would. And he needed to, actually, to save his career at that time.
Matter. And I understand that no matter what I say or do, there are always going to be people that don't believe me and will think that I'm lying. And that's okay. At this point, the truth really does not matter. It's the feelings that do. And no matter what happened, I hurt two very, very important people. And they've been really, really loyal to me, and I betrayed that. And that sucks. And I wish more than anything that I could take it back. In regards to the boy situation, I've been involved with a lot of very unique and strange situations that have left people confused or upset. And I've learned the hard way about ways that I can interact with boys that I'm interested in.
I love that this was the first time of many that we hear him address his relationship with men. This was the first of many. Like, to this day, we have apology videos where he's like, the way I deal uniquely with my men. Like, this was the beginning of it. You know what I mean? And at this stage, like, after the No More Lies video, I wanted to be on your side, but then you ended up doing everything that you were accused of. If not worse. Actually worse. 10 times worse. 100 times worse. So that's the thing that's really interesting about this entire saga. Tati Westbrook was ultimately wrong for her video, but everything she accused him of, he ended up doing, but worse. Like, if you strip back her video, sucking dick and cock, time man boys. But he ultimately ended up becoming the person that she painted him as, which is really interesting. So it like begs the question of like, was her video warranted? Was she warning her? Like, what did she know that she wasn't saying? But then if you're not going to say it, then don't fucking make it. You know what I mean? Don't like, we don't want to fill the gaps in because then we're speaking for people. You wanted to start the conversation, so finish it.
And also ones that I should or shouldn't be talking to. This is a conversation that I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with, and it's something that I should have been far more careful with bringing into the public eye, especially with the last situation that just happened. I've had to learn it the hard way. But coincidentally enough, Tati really was one of the people to sit me down and tell me how it looked from the outside, and let me know, hey, talking to these boys might get you in trouble one day. And she was right.
And he just never learned since.
In regards to my own mother, well, I know you want to defend me and fight for me and
Because James's mother at this stage was obviously doing what a mother was and was like talking shit about Tati on the internet and defending him and stuff. I just think it's really weird that he addresses his mom in this video, because I would have like actually said like leave her out of it. I know Tati brought her up in the video, which I don't necessarily agree with. She made a comment where she was like, Christy or whatever her name is, she was like, you need to be looking after the boys, not me. You need to get off Instagram and you need to look after your children, which I thought was a low blow, but it kind of ate.
Comments, but I ask that you don't. This is my problem that I...
Why are you talking to your mother through a YouTube video? Pick up that damn phone. Pick up that... If I ever like was like, Mom, can I tell you? She'd be like, pick up that damn phone. Stop speaking to me through the fucking screen.
Put myself into, and this is my job to deal with this. No matter what anybody is saying or commenting or talking about, Mom, I need you to know that you are the most important person in my life, and that you are an amazing mother. And I don't know what I would do without you. And I'm so grateful for everything that you've done for me and the lessons that you have taught me, and everything that you continue to do for me and my brother. And I need you to know that. I need you to know that.
Pick up that damn phone.
And the same thing goes for Tati as well.
He goes, my other mother.
Who is an amazing person and truly does want the best for everybody around her. And I'm so disappointed in myself that I hurt her. A lot of times when I've had to address things in the past, I've acted out of impulse and I've gone off.
That's so ironic, because I think if anything, this video is acting on an impulse. Like, this one should not have been made. The No More Lies, yes, but this, no, this is acting on an impulse. But again, when you're in that situation, I don't know how that feels.
And tried to pull receipts or facts.
Which he ultimately ended up doing. He ended up doing all those things. He said receipts, screenshots, and facts. Like, he ended up doing that in the No More Lies video because he knew he had to.
And play the victim. And I'm not doing that today.
Not today, but you eventually would.
That is all I have to say. I'm sorry.
Bleak. I think this video stemmed from him panicking, him being in Australia, not having access, probably same time zone as his family and team to talk to them, probably being surrounded by people who were like, you've got to get something out quick because you have a meet and greet in the morning. And ultimately it ended up being one of the worst videos that he ever posted and one of the most memed videos. And that's why I think he came back so strong with the No More Lies video. If he hadn't have made that video, or if it wasn't as good as what it was for the moment, we would have never seen him on the platform again. Like, he would not have had a career, which ultimately probably would have been for the best, because, you know, we're aware of things he's been called out for since this. But let me know your opinion on this. Also, let me know your opinion on the fact that Tati... Bonnie's barking. Let me know your opinion on the fact that very clearly this was a strategic upload from Tati to do it when it was inconvenient for him to respond to. I think it definitely says something about her that this was more planned than how she innocently lets up to be. I don't know. Let's talk about it down below. I appreciate you being here. Goodbye.